Good morning and welcome to the horse farm again. So we got some beautiful Clydesdales here. I have a picture of these guys, or video when they were younger, and I might post that on the Facebook too, so you can see how they've grown so much in the last month. And so anyways, we can see some other horses in the background. I don't know if this thing will zoom out or not. Nope. Anyway, I just thought we'd do another one of our Preaching in the Real series, watching the horses. And it looks like they're a little shy, they're moving away. So this is a bit of an experiment. I've been calling it Preaching in the Real series. And today we're looking at some beautiful horses. And of course you ask why, and I believe that when we hear God's voice in the original setting, the impact on our understanding is greater. And I found kind of inspiration from Job. But ask the animals what they think. Let them teach you. Let the birds tell you what's going on. And put your ear to the earth, learn the basics, and listen. Well, let's see if we can get a little bit closer here. Gotta open this gate up. Of course, I'm trying to do this single-handed. It must be kid-proof. Isn't that horrible? There we go. We'll just tuck that back in. We'll go down and see some more horses. I remember as a young kid, I discovered a series of movies called Francis the Talking Mule. And I had a lot of fun with these, and these actually were on quite late at night. So I would stay up and, up to midnight and watch these movies. And of course, the premise was we had this bumbling soldier in the army, and he befriends a talking mule. And the talking mule was a very intelligent mule and basically saved this guy's butt many times from danger and, made him into a bit of a hero. I don't know if Francis the Talking Mule was inspired by scripture, but there's a really weird passage in the Old Testament that takes place between chapters of Numbers 22 to 24. It's the story of Balaam, a misguided prophet of God, and his talking donkey. It seems utterly unbelievable, but is there, and of course we wonder why. Before we get into the story, we have to set up the historical context. So we have the Moabite nation. So these are descendants of the offspring of Lot, who was Abraham's nephew. And they didn't like that the Israelites were lurking a little too close to their lands during the Exodus from Egypt. So that's the Israelites when they left Egypt. And Balak, their king, knew how Israel had handled one of their enemies, the Amorites. And these are descendants of Canaan and fierce warriors. And so, fearing for his kingdom, Balak summoned Balaam, a prophet, to come and curse the Israelite people. Balaam apparently can't curse the Israelites without receiving the Lord's permission first. So, not surprisingly, God does not allow them to curse the people he has blessed. And despite all this, the Moabite king sends more officials who claim Balaam will earn prizes of silver if they accompany him to the king to curse Israel. Balaam, attracted by the money, saddles his donkey and heads out to curse the Israelites. So here's our scripture lesson. Let's go up and get a little bit closer look. There we go. Look at that. Got some flies bugging you today, don't you? Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the Moabite officials. But God was very angry when he went, and the angel of the Lord stood in the road to oppose him. Balaam and his two servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword, it turned off the road into a field. Balaam beat it to get it back on the road. And then the angel of the Lord moved on ahead and stood in a narrow place where there was no room. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it lay down under Balaam, and he was angry, and he beat it with his staff. Then the Lord opened the donkey's mouth, and it said to Balaam, "What have I done to you to make you beat me 3 times?" Balaam answered the donkey, "You have made a fool of me. If only I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you right now." The donkey said to Balaam, "Am I not your own donkey, which you have always ridden to this day? Have I been in the habit of doing this to you?" "No," he said. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with his sword drawn. So he bowed low and fell face down. The angel of the Lord asked him, "Why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? I have come here to oppose you because your path is reckless before me." The donkey saw me and turned away from me these 3 times. If it had not turned away, I would certainly have killed you by now, and I would have spared it. Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, "I have sinned. I do not realize you are standing in the road to oppose me. Now, if you are displeased, I will go back." So to have donkeys communicate by speaking seems impossible. And wouldn't it be kind of neat to have this horse just speak to us and say what he's thinking? I think that'd be kind of cool. It seems nonsensical a donkey would talk, but often we find animals do communicate with us. Oh, aren't you beautiful? Good morning. Beautiful day, isn't it? Last week we had the windstorm destroy, there we go, a lot of trees and property in Atwood. I had one person say that their dog started to bark and get anxious about 10 minutes before the storm hit. The dog warned its owner to take cover. And in Japan, before the last Category 9 earthquake, cows behaved differently. Specifically, cows showed lowered milk production 6 days before the earthquake. Owners also reported that their dogs were agitated in the days before the quake, and sadly some animals, such as frogs, are speaking loudly through their extinction from pollution and environmental degradation. When we study the story of Balaam, we got some more animals coming up to see us. Balaam's donkey, we focus on the interaction between the donkey and the owner. But God is revealing is far deeper than just a conversation. And the book of Numbers begins with a system, a perfect system that God gave to his people to regulate how they conduct themselves in God's presence so that he could live in their midst. God has set boundaries with promises of blessing for obedience and warning that whoever transgressed the space of God's holiness would be put to death. Balaam's donkey sees the angel and takes measures to hide from him to save his life. Frustrated with his donkey's behavior, Balaam doesn't pay attention to what is actually happening and proceeds to beat the donkey 3 times. Then the Lord opens the donkey's mouth, and the donkey actually argues with Balaam over the abuse. The angel comes to the donkey's defense through explaining that it saw him was protecting Balaam's life. In the end, Balaam sees the errors of his ways and goes on to bless rather than curse the children of Israel, going against the human errors of their ways, and against the human leadership that wanted to pay this curse to the people. Human and animals have a special relationship. As we look at the beauty of the horses, we can see how we care for them, but they care for us in return. There's something about how they bring peace and joy to our very souls. We need to pay attention when the animals in the world speak to us in ways to warn us about our behavior. As we explore the story of Balaam and his donkey, yes, we need to consider our relationship to the animals. We also have to focus and meditate on the character of God. Something very profound is revealed in this passage. God refuses to abandon his people. God keeps his promises. Throughout the Bible, God keeps his promises and he never abandons us. Many people are very worried about what's happening in the world right now. Everything from politics, pandemics, and worry about incomes and the economy. And fear is prevalent. But know that Jesus, God himself, walks with us. Amen. Well, beautiful horses, we've come to the end of our video. Oh, you've come up to say hi too. Yeah, you're cute, aren't you? I love the face on you, little markings on your... I'm not sure how good this is turning out. We're kind of looking into the sun. Oh, you're coming up to say hi. Well, thank you very much for being such an attentive audience. It'd really be kind of cool if you could talk, wouldn't it? Well, everyone, have a great day, and God bless.